Stephanie, Fran, and I went to the senior prom together. We've been through it all. And I could not think of anyone better than this group here.
To get to a point where you can be a light for others, you have to go through some darkness. They have been with me through some of my darkest hours. They speak life over me.
Wow. I learned this term. It's like a legacy friendship. It's like our kids know our friends' kids.
Yes.
We fall down, but we get up.
Welcome back to Hometown Friends, the podcast that explores our most foundational friendships and the stories that define us. Today, I interview a crew of 5 individuals, all from Berkeley, California, who have known each other for over 40 years. These folks have deep ties to the community and the experience of being like family to one another. Corey, Kim, Chicky, Fran, and Steph have a connection that has a profound impact on each other's lives. It's not just the length of time that has made this crew so tight, but as you will hear, it's what they do and how they show up for each other over and over again. It's not only the fun they had together, or even the ways that they uplifted each other. It's also the ways that they can be honest and even check each other when necessary. This is one of the hallmarks of a hometown friend, when the friendship is so close that it can withstand constructive criticism and feedback from someone who you know loves you. These are the type of friendships that make us better people and are deeply rooted in commitment, loyalty, and a sense of belonging. Please enjoy this conversation with a group I'm calling the B-Town 5. And if you enjoy it, don't forget to subscribe, follow, and comment. Everybody, welcome to the Hometown Friends podcast.
Hi.
Fran, Steph, Corey, Kim, Cheeky. You guys are the first of the 5 people of a B-Town crew, of a Berkeley crew that we're going to interview today. And I'm excited to have you guys. And today, I hope that we all get friendly with each other. Corey, tell us a little bit about how you led this charge of being willing to come on the Hometown Friend podcast.
I think a lot of it is people need to see that your real friends are going to be there for you, good and bad or indifferent. It really doesn't matter. The people who will help bring you up when you're down, people to bring you down to reality sometimes, as I've been told I needed to do. And just one...
You're all right, bro.
Thank you. And just show that, love is love. That's all it is. I mean, this is my wife and my sisters. We've been through it all.
I love it. I love it. Well, thank you for leading this and encouraging people to come on.
Like I said, these people are my family. I was talking to my dad a couple weeks ago, and he said he was somewhere with his friends talking. And he said, his friend asked him, how many kids do you have? And he said, I have a daughter, I have a son, and I have about 5 other daughters and 4 other sons. And he said, I don't understand. And the only thing he can say is it's a Berkeley thing. You wouldn't get it.
Yep.
It's like my family. It's like they see my father, they say hi, Dad, because that's their other father. My father and mother have known them most of my life. Mm-hmm. And like I said, I help my family because they need it. We're going to do it.
And you're talking about your chosen family.
Yeah, the chosen ones are like family because that's all I've been around is family. So if you that close to me, it's because we family. Like, who else would I work all night for and then come hang out with first thing in the morning?
Love you.
Thank you, Jakey.
Thank you, Jakey.
Yeah, I'm coming to be with mom. So, yeah, this is home.
You guys are a hometown friend crew.
Yep.
We're all from Berkeley, and I think we all have a real love for it. But also, I gave you guys a survey, and you guys all really rated the idea that being from some place, some hometown actually gives us a sense of identity.
Well, Berkeley is a little bit different for me probably than from anybody else here because technically I came to Berkeley High from Richmond. I was lucky because my cousin, April Lee, came up in Berkeley. And so she was a year ahead of me, though. And I met I believe Chicky and Franny and a bunch of other people through her. So oddly enough, I didn't really have friends in my own class. I had friends all in the class above me, with the exception of Corey, but I don't think we really started hanging out until junior year, maybe, or senior year, even. Like,
Junior year.
yeah, I lived there from that time in the same house for, I don't know, like 30 years or something after that. And, Berkeley is a different place.
I've always looked at Berkeley as a second skin. It just feels comfortable. I've lived in other places, and I've always come home. That's the only way to really put it. I feel better here. I've lived in Texas. I've lived in New York all of 4 days. Connecticut 9 hours. Arizona a week, but I always came home.
Yeah. Home means something.
For me, being from Berkeley, I know Berkeley is like a middle-sized town by geographical standards, but to me, it's always been a small town. All my friends from preschool on up, they lived all over Berkeley. It was always 10 minutes everywhere, hills, waterfront, just everywhere. And when I moved to Oakland for a few years and got really reconnected with this one, I would always feel sad every time I left Berkeley and would go back to Oakland, and I always get like the warm fuzzies whenever I would come to Berkeley because it was just like a good old pair of jeans. It just felt like home.
Well, this is definitely home. It feels like home. And I've lived in different states and different cities in California, but Berkeley is home. My mom was born in West Oakland. My mom is one of 6 kids, and we roll deep. And
Yeah.
we've all been here. I was actually born in Nebraska, and my mom was like, "I gotta go home." So I've been
Nice.
back here since I was 3, and I'm a waterfront kid. I'm from the front. Like for real, I am from the front. 7th Street. I grew up across the street from Columbus.
One of my favorite memories is walking the streets with my godparents in Berkeley. And I don't know if anybody remembers, but downtown off the Shattuck, they used to have ground oyster shells from the 1900s ground into the concrete. And if the sun hit it just right, it was like walking in sparkles.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like it was just magical.
Oyster shells that were part of the shell mound in the at the waterfront, right? That's from our native roots.
I felt immediately kinship with, because my dad was from the front too. He literally grew up 2 blocks away from where her mom stayed at. I used to go there all the time because my great grandmother lived there and we would visit her every weekend. And then so when Chicky and I hooked up, it was just like, oh, your dad went to school with my dad went to school with your mom. Yeah, exactly. They were all Berkeley High, and going to her house was like, going to see my grandma again.
It's meaningful to be from someplace.
My family is here. So,
Yeah.
and most of my friends know my family from the
Beautiful.
post office by Berkeley High. My uncle and aunt worked there forever. And I mean, we everywhere.
But isn't that the key to feeling home? It's not, I mean, it could be the streets and that's one aspect, but it's really the people. It's about the relationships and the connections that we have that feels like a sense that we belong. We belong with other people. We are social animals.
Yeah.
We are built for this.
Yeah.
There is nothing more important than social connections and relationships, and friendships inspire me, but I'm seeing it inspires you guys too, because you keep it going, you keep connecting, you keep gathering, you keep supporting each other.
To get to a point where you can be a light for others, you have to go through some darkness. And I can honestly say within this group, they have been with me through some of my darkest hours. And I can honestly say that this group has added so much value to my life. You
It's
know,
beautiful.
they're warm, they're kind, they're no bullshit. They listen to me, and they also they speak life over me.
Wow.
You do it as well, though.
Thank you, Chicky.
So the same thing that you get, you get what you give, but you have to come from, maybe it's the era. I don't know. We that generation, but you got to get what you give, and you give it. So it's easy to give it back to you and make sure, we see you, we understand what you're going through, even when you don't want to say it. We just bring it up. So what's going on with that situation?
You had that trust is so high, right?
Trust is so high. When my mom was really, really sick and we were figuring it out, it was my friends. And I had my family rolled deep in here. But my friends were the ones that were popping up fast in a hurry. Can you go see my mom? Because I was in Fresno. So I was, a few hours away driving. I'm like, I need somebody to go see my mama. I'm on my way.
That people stand in. People, when you really know your friends, when they just pop up, when they just do exactly what you need at
Hmm.
that moment.
Yes.
You don't have to
You,
ask.
there's a willingness to do and to be there for each other that is inherent in really good friends. And I think it's so beautiful that you guys have that. It's inspiring. And, good friends can come from any place, but, this podcast is all about the hometown friends, because I do think they're unique in that they've known you for so long, and you roll deep, and there's such these deep connections of a stage of development where we didn't even know ourselves, that they know us. They actually made us who we are in some ways. We are who we are because of these people, and you guys are living that. Can anybody else talk about some of the ways in which you guys have uplifted each other in hard times? Because you had some good stories about what you've gone through, the reality of life, the difficulties in life, and how you've been buoyed by these friendships.
When I lost my first wife, I was really depressed, and I didn't know what to do. But Fran and Stephanie were like, you know what? We're all going to Paisley Park. Let's do this.
Paisley Park in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Is that where it is?
Yep.
Because Prince probably bonded us together in high school, actually. It was the mutual love.
He is
Yeah.
definitely some little glue up in there.
Yeah.
That was maybe a shared thread that we all had.
Listening to Prince music.
Woo.
And multiple concerts.
Yes.
We probably went to Purple Rain like 3 times when that came out, right?
I think I did school about 6 times ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So going to Paisley Park, what did that mean to you, Corey, to have your friends take you to Paisley Park?
One, that they were there to support me and get me out of my funk, and to show that I'm still loved and people are there for me. I think that's what a lot of it is.
They also knew exactly what you needed.
Mm-hmm.
That only comes from somebody who really knows who you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Chicky said earlier, though, you get what you give. I'm an orphan. I think I'm the only orphan in this group right now. I'm an orphan now because both of my parents passed, but my dad had to be home on hospice. We took care of him for 7 days before he left us. And during that time, he had to be on ostomy. And, we're trying to take care of him at home. And one day I had a problem with that ostomy bag, and I didn't know how to handle it. And I knew Chicky was there though, and she had worked in a hospital too. And I just said, I don't know what's happening, but I can't get the new one attached. And she just flew over. I don't even know how you got there so fast, but she just flew.
Because the universe brought me here for whatever reason. I don't even know why I was here. I was still living in Fresno.
Yeah, helped me deal with it. You might have been here though, because you were here so fast. I don't even know.
I was here in town.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I mean, it's the placement.
Yeah, and
there was a reason why she was here in town.
And
whatever it was, that was the reason though. Stephanie was the reason that I needed to be in town. I thought it was, to visit my mom and my family, but it was clearly I needed to be here because I needed to be right there on Parker Street.
Beautiful. So there's divine intervention.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, the universe move.
Plenty.
It sure
The
does.
universe move you.
I'll just say, my Mike Marshall, you probably all know Mike. Everybody knows Mike Marshall. He's given me this phrase, this we fall down and we get up sort of intro to my podcast. And I love it so much because every time I listen to my own thing, I hear that and I say to myself, every time I've fallen down, every time it's been hard, I've turned to my friends and they've always uplifted me, whether it's doing something for me or just being there for me.
When you care about somebody, that's what you do. You move. We act. Because I know this person may not be in their right mind. Here I come. Let me do this. Here, you needed this. Oh, I did, huh?
I'm curious of how we learn to do that as humans. I mean, there's obviously some sort of inherent way that we are humans to do that, but does anybody have a sense of like how you learn to do that? I mean, you're giving this theme of like we give what we get, and so if we are given, then we do it.
For me, I spend a lot of time on my porch. Either I'm reading, or I'm on social media, or I'm just messing around. But I speak to every neighbor, or I wave if they have their earbuds in.
You've seen it.
We have a hopscotch in front of our house. People jump through.
Mm-hmm.
But I cultivate that because when things happen, you need to know who your neighbors are.
Plus, it makes us feel more connected to the outside world and to anybody randomly. There's some really important research around that the idea that we can just connect with random people. We don't actually even have to know them. We can have these micro moments of positivity resonating between two people because we're human beings. And it doesn't matter what race you are or culture or where you come from or how much money you got. It does not matter if you have these micro moments of connectedness. You are uplifted by these things. They build resources. They broaden our perspective.
I think for me, the biggest way I see it, right after 9/11, I was flipping channels, and there was some sort of symposium on KQED talking about how 9/11 was affecting the kids. And I would listen to it, but I really wasn't hearing it until like a couple days later. One of the gentlemen comes out and said, if you want the kids to be kids, they have to get back to doing normal things. And Mr. Fred Rogers never lied to me. So that year we did Halloween, and some people came out and said, do you really think you should be doing this time of year? We want the kids to know that they're okay. And we had a lot of people come by that year and said, thank you for doing this. And now Halloween is a big block thing where we usually have 200, we give out 200 to 300 small bags of candy. My sisters are there. People we've known from Berkeley High and junior high school show up
with their kids
and grandkids.
There's people some of the people don't even live around here anymore, and they come this way just because they know Corey's gonna have a scene going on for Halloween, and it's just gonna be joyous. It's gonna be a little spooky. It gets you. It's one at a time, and one or two of them little spots. They gonna
Why
get you.
Why you gonna bring that up?
It's gonna get you, but it's so much joy in it. And these people come from everywhere, or they heard about it because so and so used to live over here, and they come back.
Because community means something, because gathering means something, because being together means something. It lifts us all.
We are social creatures.
Well, I can see that Halloween means a lot, not only because it's fun and exciting, but it's also that community building that I think you guys were really centering. So I can see how important that is to you. And it's a great way to be engaged in the community, is to have, a celebration, to have a Halloween situation where all kinds of people are coming through. The community is actually gathering around something like Halloween.
I'm not allowed to go to the Halloween store by myself. I have to ask permission on some Halloween projects because I'll take it too far.
Talk about Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
Okay, I will tell that. See, what had happened was in January, actually after Halloween last year, I saw a inflatable 25-foot Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. It's like, ooh, I want it. But then I saw the price on it, and we were both like, yeah, no. January comes down, and the price has gone to half. It's like, I got tax money. I'm going to go ahead and get it. Needless to say, the 25-foot Marshmallow Man, when we got it, it showed up. I said, I'm going to blow it up. So I put it on the front yard and started to blow it up. And it's like, this is probably a really bad idea. Not even a third way up. It's about to touch my power line and my neighbor's power line. My daughter said, nope, just get all the air out of it now. All right. So then we put it in the side between the two houses and I blew it up. And it is looking into my neighbor's second story window.
Like right now?
Oh no, we had to take that puppy down. And my granddaughter is looking, I want to come under there with you. And I'm thinking, if this thing falls, I could die. And the headline will be, he was killed by the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. Oh.
That's great. You're really providing a hub for, again, this community building, and I'm sure you have all this crew around, and then again, you just like the idea, and I'm sure you spend a lot of money, as you were saying, to actually provide a community event for your Berkeley folks.
Every year we see a bunch of people we knew from Berkeley High, from Willard and King. They're coming through with their kids. I watched a girl across the street grow up. I've seen multiple people grow up. All of our kids have shown up to the house one year or another.
That's great. That's great. Well, Halloween's a great opportunity to bring people together. And tell us a little bit about having fun with your friends, and especially your hometown friends, and why that is so amazing to be with your hometown friends and have fun with them.
I think we just get together and that's it. That's all it takes.
That's all it takes. Well, I think you guys are speaking about some things that I do think are, so great about friendships. And I think specifically when you have these long-term chosen family kinds of hometown friends, as we're calling them, is this way of just having it be effortless, that you don't need to do anything, as Cheeky says. You want to be around each other. It feels comfortable and connected and fun and effortless. And it doesn't matter. You don't have to do anything. You can actually just have fun being with each other.
Mm-hmm.
You have friends, and maybe to outsiders, they have little quirks. They have things that maybe people outside of your city or outside of your group, they think, hey, they're weird, or hey, that's not right. But you just accept them for who they are. Just with this group, you've been together so long, you know each other, you just accept them for who they are, warts and all.
It's such a great feeling to have full acceptance and non-judgmental friends. And, you've brought up this other side, which is that people could actually judge you, but you have this high trust. So if they judge you in the right way, they can give you feedback that's very useful. They can call you out. They can hold you accountable.
We're not judging, nobody judges to tear somebody else down. We're making an observation and saying, hey, this is not like you, or what's going on.
Yeah.
Something is up, like how can
it's like building a body. Like everybody contributes. Like one person may have that right hand, and then the other person, she pretty good with her left elbow, Then that other person, they feet work. By the time you put us together, we got a whole functioning body.
I love it. That's a beautiful image there of really just everybody bringing something. But I do think that good friends uplift each other, right? They actually pay attention to what's going right and not just what's going wrong. And I think there's something about friendship that naturally does that for us, that we naturally pay attention to the things that are good about the other friend.
It's that knowledge. It's that sometimes we know each other well enough without even saying a word. Like, I don't always have to say what's on my mind, and these 4 people get it.
The moment something happens, like I had my son and I brought him home, I took him to everybody. I took him to Parker Street. I took him to see Stephanie's parents.
I learned this term. It was like I don't know if this is right, but it's like a legacy friendship. It's like our kids know our friends' kids.
Yes. And our grandkid and the grands.
I think the perfect example of that would be today. We're getting ready for this today. My granddaughter came in and she had to go talk to her Auntie Stephanie and talk to her Auntie Fran. And she hung out with them.
Mm-hmm.
And she knows it on sight.
Well, one of the things I really, one of the stories that I really love about this group is actually Kim and Corey's story of like, you guys were hometown friends way back when, and then in a different time and period, now you're married.
One of my godchildren took a picture of me and added some flowers, and I used that as my Facebook profile picture. And I kid you not, 5 minutes after I changed it, I got a messenger request. Hey, pretty lady, you want to do lunch? And we've been together ever since.
That is beautiful. But you also said that Corey used to pick you up with a car on the way to Berkeley High.
Yep, a little 5.0 with a lot of beat in it and about 4 amplifiers.
That was a long time ago.
That kind of connection, though, makes it much easier to reach out on a messenger and say, hey, pretty lady, let's kick it.
And we went to the Habit, and we sat and had lunch for about 3.5, 4 hours until they told us we had to leave. Because evidently you can't sit there for 4 hours. And we were going out every weekend. Then we were going to the Oakland Museum, if I remember.
Mm-hmm.
And we're halfway there, and she was like, I think we're dating.
It was like hanging with my best friend.
That's so great.
And for our wedding, I made sure that sitting in the front were my parents and my sisters. So they all had a table that was reserved for them in the front for the wedding.
Nice.
That was a great day.
Yep, it was.
That was a great day.
That's so cool. Franny, you had a good story, a funny story of Corey in his car. You want to tell that story?
Oh, yeah, because I'll never let him live this one down. I remember it was probably like in the late 80s. And
Was it the Nova?
I think it was the Nova.
It was the Nova.
And we were driving somewhere. We were up around Marin and the Alameda, and the lights stopped. And he jumped up on the car. He's like, I'm going to do the Pee Wee Herman dance on top of the car. I'm like, no, you're not. So he got up on top of the car, and he was doing the Pee Wee Herman until the light changed, and then he got back in the car. And that's just kind of like all like the random stuff that Corey tends to do.
It's obviously the car has a lot of theme for you, Corey, but
it was the car. I had nothing to do with it.
No, but what I really want to know is can you share the Pee Wee with us? Because I kind of remember it, but like I'm not sure if I could do it. Can you do the Pee Wee for us?
Hey, I got to get a belt for these fans to do it.
Okay, I'm gonna let you off the hook with the Pee Wee. But one of the things that I really love, it's my favorite question that I often ask people, is that what do you guys admire about each other?
I'm an only child. But to have all these people just kind of, I almost want to say adopt me, not even just adopt me, but just understand me. And there's just little things about each of them that I just appreciate. Like Stephanie can be the most forthright person, and a lot of times that's generally what the fuck I need. With Corey, I just feel like I'm at home. With Kim, I feel loved and understood. With Chicky, again, that's another person where I don't have to say anything or I don't have to do anything. It's just she gets me. Now, I don't know if it's just the history or just the Berkeleyness. It's just
when you've napped together on a kindergarten floor,
she understands me. It's like these are the siblings that I've never had. These are the aunts and uncles that my child never had, and I love that about all of them, and they just accept my kid as one of their own.
For Kim, Kim is the was the lesser known glue because I didn't know her when we were growing up, and I met her because of Corey and because we all worked together when we did delivery driving. But she was here in the Oakland office, and then we just it just clicked. It's the stand upness, it's a
Mm,
reliability. Not
mm,
that you're asking for anything, and it's like a safety net that you have with your parents. For a long time, you get the safety net. You can do whatever, or you may not have what you need, and the parents, well, I got you. Don't worry. And I have that with Kim, and it's grown substantially over the past year. And Corey is just a stand up man. He is a stand up man.
By his word.
He is honest. He is and he's probably the squarest out of all of us. I'm wild as hell. And Corey is just stand up, and he is so reliable, and it's so rare to have. And you don't have to feel any kind of way, and there was no insecurities about him standing up. Well, what he want, and is he trying to? There was never any of that. Fran, because Fran is just like she said, just be quiet and not say nothing. We get it. We get it. We see it. We understand it. There's nothing that have to be said. And Stephanie is just Fran's word, forthcoming, forthright. Stephanie is real.
yeah, you have admiration for this crew, for this whole the synergistic effect of your crew.
I really do. I feel so blessed because I know I'm gonna get what I need, even if I don't know I need it.
I don't think Corey gets enough credit for how great of a person, how great of a father, how great of a husband, leader in the community. He has touched the lives positively in so many ways. He's got about 50 god kids and he takes care of all of them.
Let me ask Corey how that feels. How's it feel to be given that, given that appreciation and that gratitude?
Well, a lot of it's because um, these people right here. I mean, Kim. She's my love. I love her. Thank you. My sisters. Like I said, this one's the Energizer Bunny right here. She's quick. She's quick to jump at me and said, "Okay, we need to do this. Go ahead and figure out how we're gonna do this."
Mhm.
Fran's the quiet one. She'll like poke you in the side. Hey, don't forget this. But we got you. But don't forget this. Stephanie will just let you know straight up.
Mhm.
You say okay,
And then sit back and wait for you to figure it out.
and she'll hit you in the back of the head. Stupid, wake up. It's not like that.
Yeah, definitely. Like I mentioned before, I grew up with these concepts of karma and, the Sesame Street kind of societal philosophy for how people should be. But honestly, kind of until I met these people, I didn't never really see it practiced. So like if you want to go back to your original question, one thing that I really admire about Fran is that she get stuff done. Like she's not a procrastinator, which I tend to be. I'm just like, oh, I don't want to do that. I'm not going to do it. Where she's just all, I don't want to do it. I'm going to do it right now and get it off my plate and forget about it, so that I don't have to worry about it anymore. And, that's something that I've tried to actually take on and carry through, like with that whole attitude. Like, yeah, why am I prolonging the agony? I should just pick it up and get her done, right? Um, Chicky is just, I don't know, she's just, her spirit is just so, like, I couldn't help but be happy a lot of the times around her. She just like had this energy, and the spirit that, I wish I could be that kind of person. And then Kim also a lot of the times embodies that as well, like where, like, and I don't know if it's part of the way that I grew up introverted or less trustful of people because of things that happened to me in my past. I wish I could kind of be more like that, but I'm not, as much as as much as I would want to. But yeah, and Corey definitely has that in spades too.
The admiration, though, is so strong for you guys, right? The sense that you have, you actually like each other on these levels, not just what you give or like, but that actually you admire each other for the personality factors that are just natural to you,
It makes it
right?
easy to give.
I love that. That's a good friendship group specifically, is that we want to be better for these other people. We want to be the best version of ourselves for these other people. And we learn something. You're sort of saying this other thing, like we learn things from our friends. We take things from our friends. We take who they are and try to be more and emulate them a bit. We can actually learn how to be better people for our friendships. I have so much gratitude for you guys for not only sharing these stories, but just coming on and agreeing to be a part of this. And each individually, I feel like I've gotten to know you just a little bit more. I would love to keep this going. I hope to share more of myself with you guys over time. I think this is just the beginning.
Halloween is right around the corner.
It's a funny thing that you talk about Halloween, because similar to you, Corey, I cannot wait for Halloween, and I love to be a part of the community, and I love watching all the kids. And so I'm going to figure out how to get over there either earlier or later or something so that I can do both. And I might even have to take a year off of Halloween to come by your thing, because this is going to be amazing.
I just had an idea, Corey.
Oh,
Remember how during last Halloween they came by, like you had the neighbors coming by and saying, hey, we should put a map together of the houses and everything? Why it just got to be your neighborhood? We could expand it all the way up into Chandler's neighborhood. Like all of
I love
Berkeley, we
it.
could start a Halloween map.
I'm
Wow.
off the rest of this week. I could think about how to do this.
Let's collaborate on that. I'd love to have that work for us all so that we could actually see each other. For now, though, I just want to say thank you, guys. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast, sharing your stories with us, sharing your lives with each other, having gratitude for each other, sharing the ideas that your hometown friends make a difference in your life. They were there for you. They've been there for you. They continue to pick you up off the ground when you need it, to check you when you need it, to have loyalty for each other, to listen to each other, to be there, to complete yourselves, to be your best self. I just am so grateful that you guys agreed to do this. So thank you so much.
Thank
Well,
you.
thank you for having us.
It was great.
It was great.
It was a lot of fun.
Aristotle said that wishing to be friends is quick work, but friendship is a slow and ripening fruit. This quote speaks to the nature of hometown friendships because, as we just heard from this group, friendships like these are like family, and they become more valuable over time as they are maintained through life's different developments. Studies by William Chopnick found that friendships become increasingly important to one's happiness and health across the lifespan. And in older adults, friendships are actually a stronger predictor of health and happiness than even relationships with family members. The thing that inspires me most about this crew and the friendships like this is the way they show up for each other, especially when the times get rough. Sadly, a few months after this interview, Corey and Kim's home caught fire, and unfortunately, they did not have the sufficient insurance to cover the rebuilding costs. Although a fundraiser was set up to help them, I'm sure there was nowhere near enough to cover the entire cost, and the loss of a home is not only financially costly, it's also psychologically devastating. We all witnessed this recently during the catastrophic fires in Southern California. Having friends doesn't take the pain of these types of experiences away completely, but they do lessen the traumatic feelings of loss and devastation because good friends, as Kim said, breathe life over us. and share our painful experiences. I'm certain that this group was there for Corey and Kim, and if you haven't already, please donate any amount to their GoFundMe account that I will link in the notes of this episode, and give to the relief efforts for the victims of the Southern California fires. The small ways that we lend our support to people that are in need can provide meaning to our lives, and donations to help the people that have lost so much help them build resilience, which allows them to then help others going forward. If you want to share a story of friends helping you build resilience, please reach out to me via email at hometownfriendspod@gmail.com. And be sure to follow the podcast on Instagram at Hometown Friends Pod. Please share this podcast with your friends and subscribe to the Hometown Friends YouTube channel. Stay safe, stay tuned, and stay connected.
We fall down, but we get up.